Kalamazoo line. Right circle, shoots wide to the left post. Yates holds it in. Behind the net to Iverson for the Fuel. Warding off to Brinken. Iverson tried to put it out in front, but it's broken up by Bradford. And Tanner Sorensen brings it the other way. Fires a slap shot from center red that goes high. Keone Teixeira hops on the puck. Humitz forces him behind the net. Teixeira is able to move it out to center all the way down. This will be an icing as DeBrincat wins the race to the dots. And back to your point earlier, you're talking about Craighead and his forechecking ability. One thing Doug Christensen said to me yesterday was he's fast, but you don't realize how fast he is until you see him up close. He's got another gear that allows him to cover a lot of ice because he's able to get his feet moving, and I think that helps him on the forecheck and, as you mentioned, getting into the back check early and making things happen.
Yeah, it's the acceleration of being able to close down space. You hear that phrase a lot for defensemen in their own zone, closing down space, taking away time and space for the opposing forwards. Well, it's very much the opposite, the same thing, but on the other side of things, for a forechecking forward to be able to take away that all-important time of a defenseman to force him to make a mistake, force him to make a decision before he's comfortable with it. So that's a real tough thing to find these days. A great forechecker, and that's what allows Craighead to be so impactful in the offensive zone.
Raymond Rice takes a shot from the left wing circle that's steered aside by Cale Morris. Fuel lob it out to center. Justin Murray takes it back into the Fuel zone. A give and go with Murray. He shoots on goal, fought off by Morris. Thomas below his own goal line. Turns it over along the far boards. Bryce shoots. Save Morris. Juicy rebound over to Slaker over to the far side, but he couldn't quite find the handle, and the Fuel just iced the puck to relieve the pressure with 15:15 to go. Second period, the Fuel lead 3-2, but a good push from Kalamazoo these last couple of shifts.
Yeah, the Fuel are on the run right now. The importance of a face-off win. You got a couple of guys bent over. Kirill Chaika, hands on his knees, trying to get a couple of breaths. The importance of this face-off being won here for Jared Thomas is super important as Kalamazoo sends out one of their top offensive lines.
Yeah, Justin Taylor's line, but Thomas wins it from him, but Chaika turns it over. Taylor between the circles, shoots, deflected on goal, rebound put just wide from the top of the crease. The puck loose at the side of the crease, comes out into the slot, turnaround shot from Gaudette, does not go, and the puck in along the boards, in behind the net. It's Jordan. He'll cycle it back in, and they let it go to Giovanni Vellotti along the left wing boards. A tired group of players out there for the Fuel. Rimmed around, Mondot gets to it and squirts it, but not out. Vellotti's able to hold it in at the line. Jordan wrists it behind the net. Justin Taylor comes in to keep it alive. Teixeira gets to it, and the Fuel's Darian Craighead able to play it out through center into the Kalamazoo zone. Indy will go for a change. It was good work from Keone Teixeira to win the puck and outlet it to Craighead to allow the Fuel to get that much-needed change. K-Wings try to work it through center. Comes to Tanner Sorensen. High slot. Drops it off for Bradford. Left circle. He's forced wide. Sends it up to the point. Rockwell tries a one-timer. It's blocked. C.J. Ike brings it the other way after Yetman had the block. He and Yetman 2-on-2 across the line. Puck is forced into the left wing corner. Squirts free to Brendan Miller of Kalamazoo, but he turns it over. Good work from Carl Lemire to force it free to Ike along the near boards, but taken back by the K-Wings. Leguerrier prevents Sorensen from being able to do anything with it at neutral ice. Sorensen and Leguerrier follow each other into the far boards. The puck squirts free and is taken by the Fuel. Headman up to Carl Lemire into the Kalamazoo zone. Looks to center for Ike and had a stick lifted by Miller just as he was trying to get the shot off, and that allows the K-Wings to bring it the other way. Humitz drops it off for Sorensen. He shoots, and a save made by Morris on the shot from the top of the right wing circle. Fuel work it out through center. Spencer Watson across the Kalamazoo line. Right circle, skates in to the slot on the backhand, tried to feed it across for Schneider, but it's broken up by the K-Wings and sent all the way down. It's not in the trapezoid below the goal line, so Morris couldn't play it, and that allowed Humitz to come in and get to it and set up some possession for Kalamazoo. Behind the net, Slaker looks to center, and it comes all the way out to the point. Puck sent across for Murray. For Kalamazoo, he cycles it in behind the net looking for Slaker. Lee ties him up. Here's a centering feed looking for Humitz. He tried to bat it out of the air, and it couldn't find its intended target. Gates steers it toward the Kalamazoo line. Riley McKay will send it in, go after it himself. The goaltender leaves the puck. McKay delivers another huge hit on DeBrincat, who is still down. Here is Lambden. DeBrincat is up and heading to the bench. Lambden turns it over. Mondot 3-on-1 across the line. Tried to feed it across for Thomas, but the pass was way too far in front of him. Mondot up to the point for Chaika. Walks the line, wrists one, and scores! Kirill Chaika from the point with all kinds of traffic in front. Wires it just under the bar, and the Fuel lead at 4-2.
Well, this goal for Chaika comes off the heels of the huge hit from Riley McKay. He left Andrew DeBrincat hurt, late going back to the bench, and the Fuel were able to create some transition at 2-on-1 because DeBrincat was late, slow going to the bench. And the Kalamazoo Wings were struggling to try and get their full complement of 5 players out on the ice. The Fuel go to work, keep it alive in the offensive zone, and then Chaika, just a seeing eye shot right underneath the bar, was able to find the back of the net, and the Indy Fuel with a 2-goal lead.
And Chad Getman bats one in, and the Fuel lead at 5-2. As we come right back to action, the puck was sent goalward, and Chad Getman was at the side of the net. The puck was in midair, and he just redirected it past Greaves, and the Fuel have extended the lead to 3. It was just a looping puck, and Getman reaches out with a stick and deflects it in.
Well, I know we're still 4 months from spring training, but it's awesome hand-eye coordination play for Chad Getman. Intuitiveness, creativity, and it's not a batting motion. He just kind of redirects the puck towards the net, and it handcuffs Jet Greaves. And the Indy Fuel taking a page out of the Blackhawks book. The Hawks scored 3 goals in 34 seconds a couple of games ago. And the Fuel have had goals in clumps in this game. Another one quickly right after the Kirill Chaika goal.
That one at 8:07. 13 seconds between goals. Chad Getman scoring his 6th of the year right after Chaika scored his 2nd. The Fuel lead at 5-2, and an odd man rush coming into the Kalamazoo zone. Craighead shoots, sends it across for Gates, who had an open side and ended up missing the net, missed everything, golfed it out of play. And now Chris Cameron and Davies are having a conversation as Davies was trying to get to McKay. And we have a whistle. 11:12 to go in the second period. The Fuel lead Kalamazoo 5-2. This is Indy Fuel hockey. If you're looking for an exciting night of hockey, visit the Indiana Farmers Coliseum to help cheer our Indy Fuel to victory. If you're looking to score a great deal on business insurance, look no further than Indiana Farmers Insurance. The Indy Fuel chose Indiana Farmers Insurance because they wanted a local business that understands local business. It's a partnership that's truly worthy of a hat trick. To find an independent Indiana Farmers Insurance agent near you, visit IndianaFarmers.com.
During Happy Honda Days, discover the joys of the season with unforgettable trips in an Accord, Pilot, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Accord and 0% APR on the 2022 Pilot or HR-V. Find your perfect Honda this season. Visit your local Honda dealer today or shop online.
This is my kind of holiday.
It's the Happy Honda Day sales event at your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
See dealer for financing details.
Don't miss a second of the action. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
11:12 to go in the second period. The Indy Fuel with a 5-2 lead over the Kalamazoo Wings. 2 goals, 13 seconds apart. That, by the way, is 4 seconds off of the club record that was set by Matt Rupert and Radovan Bondra back in 2019. They scored 9 seconds apart. Kirill Chaika's 2nd of the year from Mondot and Thomas. Now Jared Thomas with an 11-game scoring streak. And then 13 seconds later at 8:07, Chad Getman, his 6th of the year from Carl Lemire, and Kirill Chaika making it 5-2. And we return to action, and the Fuel nearly had another as Brent Gates had a doorstep tip that ended up going out of play. And the puck loose off the face-off and finally controlled by Kalamazoo. Brendan Miller steers it up the boards out to center. Jordan Schneider banks it ahead to Spencer Watson, but it doesn't connect. Humitz brings it the other way into the left wing circle. A wrist one right through the crease. Rockwell holds it in at the point, tries to send it to the slot. Broken up by Indy, and the Fuel look for transition the other way. Pass behind Jared Thomas at center is collected by Humitz. Ahead to Bradford across the Fuel line. He wrists one that's blocked up and over the net. Rockwell holds it in at the right point. Across to Miller. Fires a slap shot through traffic, hits the pile in front. And it hit Bradford. And he got up a little slowly, but he is up and has the puck in the left wing corner. Schneider gives him a shove. Bradford on the puck. Sends it up to the point for Rockwell. His shot deflected wide. Brendan Miller hops on it. He tries to feed it in front as Bradford and Jordan Schneider are going at it. Now Tanner Sorensen getting in there. The sticks are up. Mike Lee has found a dance partner in Humitz. And Schneider and Bradford had been going at it. They were slashing each other quite a bit while the play was going on, and Schneider had a hold of Bradford and sent him to the ice, and then just kept sending him to the ice, 2 or 3, and that right now looks like it's the first penalty, and we'll see if any others come besides that.
And the first punch to the head of Schneider. Schneider delivering the punch to Eric Bradford was going to be let go by referee Sam Heidemann, and then down rains the cross check, and then the arm goes up. And right before the TV timeout, Andrew, the 2-on-1 for the Indy Fuel, far side it was Riley McKay. He took an absolute two-handed slash on the leg by Max Humitz. And in that last shift, Mike Lee was going after Humitz. I mean, he was on him like pen on paper. Cross-check, slash. So let's keep an eye and see if the Fuel hold Humitz accountable for what he did on a big, massive two-handed slash on Riley McKay before that last TV timeout. I think that's what has kind of spurred on all this aggressiveness both during play and after the whistle.
The penalty is Schneider for cross-checking at 9:51. Kalamazoo to the power play for the second time. The K-Wings are 1 for 1. They are 8 for 14 against the Fuel this season. And they have the puck in the zone. Logan Lambden with it. Back diagonal to the point to Slaker. Sends it up to the point for a shot that goes wide off the stick of Michael Davies. Lambden retrieves the puck outside left hash. Over to Slaker. Plays pitch and catch. And with Davies, and then try to seam pass, looking for Blaney. It's broken up by the Fuel. And comes out to center ice, 2-on-1 for the Fuel, shorthanded. Teixeira across the line, and a good back check from Slaker forces it free before Teixeira could get a shot off. Davies brings it up. Kalamazoo changing ahead of the play. Justin Taylor now on the ice. He has 5 power play goals against the Fuel this year. And the Fuel able to play it out to center. Riley McKay across the line. Potential 2-on-1 developing with Lemire. McKay shoots and scores from the left circle. Riley McKay with a shorthanded goal. And the Fuel lead at 6-2. And he and Eric Bradford got tangled up as McKay was headed over to the boards to celebrate. And Bradford met him there. The linesman separated him. And McKay's teammates are going to go to the bench to celebrate while Riley McKay goes to the penalty box after scoring a shorthanded goal.
I love the decision that Riley McKay makes before he scores the goal. 2-on-1 position. McKay and Lemire to his right. It was Brendan Miller, the K-Wings defenseman, who did a really nice job of taking away the pass. And so McKay had 2 options. Force the pass through, possible interception, and then nothing comes of it, or take it to the net yourself and just pile drive it past Greaves to the far side, glove side. McKay chooses the latter. And a great recognition and heads-up play, and then the decision after to throw a little punch or a forearm shiver to Bradford. Probably not the smartest decision, but regardless, the Fuel are up by 4. And a huge insurance goal there from Riley McKay, who has been arguably the most impactful Indy Fuel player all night long.
And now the Fuel are down 2 men, however, as McKay was penalized on the play. Kalamazoo with an extended 5-on-3. Sorensen tried to play it across to Miller, but the pass was really soft, and Jared Thomas breaks it up and clears it all the way down. 17 seconds to go on the 5-on-3.
That was a good stick there by Jacob Laguerre. I think he might have got a stick on that puck, which is why the pass was so soft. The Fuel able to clear it all the way down.
Chad Yetman tries to force it free at the line, but here comes Miller, top of the left circle. Sends it across. Here's a feed in front, deflected on goal, and they score. Or do they? The referee, I thought, pointed at the net. The light is on. And now we've got some rough stuff after the play. Gloves are off. Justin Taylor is trying to get to Jordan Schneider with the linesman between them. And this game has gotten all sorts of crazy here in the last 3 or 4 minutes. The Fuel scored 3 goals in a span of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. And it appears Kalamazoo has responded with a 5-on-3 power play goal, and right now there's only one player going to the penalty box, and that appears to be Jordan Schneider. So it looks like Kalamazoo may have a 5-on-3 again for 1:19, and Schneider is pleading his case to the referee, who points him back to the box.
Well, Andrew, in that situation, it was Jordan Schneider who came out of the box. And he was the one that started the fracas, the entanglement, and the fisticuffs after the goal was scored. And then he just takes the path right back to the penalty box as he shed his gloves and tried to get involved physically again. So another case where Schneider takes another penalty. And definitely another power play coming up for Kalamazoo. But you're in a situation right now where you have to find a way to stay out of the penalty box. 6-3. It's a 3-goal game. Kalamazoo able to capitalize on their most recent man advantage. While you're trying to stick up for your teammates, stick up for your goaltender, you can't continue to give the Kalamazoo Wings, with as much skill as they have, you cannot continue to just hand them and give them power play opportunities.
Well, the goal scored by Tanner Sorensen at 11:51.
And if I could, the reason why Schneider went after him is because he got dumped right on Cale Morris, the Indy Fuel goaltender, and it looked to me like it was an Indy Fuel defenseman that pushed Sorensen on top of Morris. And then Cameron came in and pulled him off, and then that's when Schneider came in and started a little bit of fighting after the goal was scored. So,
well, here's the other thing. The timing of the goal should be at exactly the moment Schneider came out of the box. However, they have ruled that Schneider's penalty had not yet expired, so it's a 5-on-3 for 1:19. That's a big, big decision. And Schneider sent off for roughing, and Kalamazoo again with a 5-on-3 here with a couple of undisciplined penalties by the Fuel after they took a 6-2 lead. And here's a feedback for Miller. He shoots on goal, and Cale Morris makes the save. 7:36 to go. Second period, the Fuel leads 6-3. Kalamazoo with 46 seconds remaining in the 5-on-3. Schneider gets a roughing minor and a misconduct.
This is a huge situation in this game for the Indy Fuel. Lengthy 5-on-3 power play for Kalamazoo.
I think the issue, too, I'm not sure the Fuel have somebody to come out of the penalty box right now at the expiration of Schneider's minor. That could come into play here as Jordan has it Over to the far side, Davies. Works it low for Slaker. Back to Davies, right circle. A wrist one looking for the backdoor tip from Blaney. Goes high. 27 seconds to go on the 5-on-3 for Kalamazoo. They feed it back up for a shot and a goal from Jordan. And just like that, 2 undisciplined penalties by the Fuel. And Kalamazoo has capitalized with a pair of 5-on-3 goals. And they still have a minute 3 of power play time. And this is now suddenly a 2-goal game.
Well, the Kalamazoo Wings have enough skill to make you pay on undisciplined penalties, and it was Zach Jordan with kind of a unusual one-timer on his forehand side as he just shoved it towards the net. And Cale Morris, who was leaving the right post a little bit early, overcommitted to the left side, left the right side of the net open. And just like that, you go from 4 goals up to just 2. And the K-Wings, as you had said, Andrew, still on the power play.
Blaney with the assist, as well as Slaker on Jordan's goal at 12:49. We've had 3 goals scored in less than 2 minutes. One a shorty by Riley McKay, but then the Fuel took 2 really bad post-whistle penalties, and they both led to Kalamazoo 5-on-3 goals. K-Wings bring it into the zone with 29 seconds to go on their power play, and it's broken up by C.J. Ike, who clears it all the way down. Kalamazoo now with a lot of momentum, with a pair of goals after the Fuel had looked like they had put this away. Lambden across the line, in behind the net. It comes to Taylor. Sends it up to the point to DeBrincat. Rister hits a pile in front, cleared by the Fuel. And Spencer Watson will come out of the penalty box, serving Schneider's extra minor. And we're back to 5 aside with 6 minutes to go in the second period. And the K-Wings ice the puck. 5:57 to go. So Riley McKay's goal, his shorthanded goal at 11:10, came from Leguerrier and Cale Morris getting his first assist of the year. But then McKay took a roughing penalty in the celebration, and Kalamazoo made the Fuel pay with a 5-on-3 goal from Tanner Sorensen 41 seconds later. And then Jordan Schneider took a roughing penalty at the moment that goal was scored. And Kalamazoo scored again on the 5-on-3. Here's Riley McKay taking it to goal. He shoots from right on top of the crease. And Greaves makes the save and holds on for a whistle. 5:47 to go in the second period. The Fuel lead Kalamazoo 6-4. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Hi, this is Jeff Wheeler, business manager of IBEW Local 41. I am proud to represent more than 3,000 union electrical workers in central Indiana. From Bankers Life Fieldhouse to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the annual Circle of Lights, we are proud to power your community. IBEW Local 41 is proud of our union membership and our community leadership.
When you get care at Community Health Network, you're part of our community. And in our community, nothing should get between you and your health, not even the cost of care. When the time comes, our advocacy team will help you figure it out, whether you're uninsured or underinsured, so you can focus on what really matters, your health. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Get support at ecommunity.com/simplydelivered.
Stand by me.
Back to the action with Nick Golchek and Andrew Smith with Indy Fuel Hockey.
5:47 to go in the second period. The Indy Fuel took a 6-2 lead on goals by Kirill Chaika, Chad Yetman, and Riley McKay. But Kalamazoo answered with a pair of goals with a 2-man advantage. Tanner Sorensen and Zach Jordan scoring 58 seconds apart, and the Fuel lead has been cut to 6-4 with 5:47 to go in the second period. Kind of feels like the momentum of this game has turned a little bit. You know, if you're the Fuel, I think the next goal could really impact how these final 25 minutes are going to play out.
Yeah, he's put up 7 goals in last night's game, already got the touchdown, 6 goals tonight. We'll find a way to get another one before the third period. It's going to put them in a great position, but the key here has to be staying out of the penalty box, because The K-Wings have shown when you hand them penalties, when you hand them power plays, and you gift wrap them man advantages, they're going to be able to capitalize because, like I said, right before this last little stretch of play has happened, the Fuel were up by 4 goals, and now all of a sudden it's only 2. But good back-to-back shifts here from the Indy Fuel top line, trying to turn the tide and get some momentum back in the Fuel's favor.
A friendly stanchion allows Brent Gates to take the puck as Kalamazoo cleared. Here's Teixeira shooting, and Greaves makes the save. It broke through him. Gates puts it back on goal with Craighead on the doorstep, but Greaves able to make a glove save and hold on with 5:28 to go. Good shift for the Fuel as they got a friendly bounce. Kalamazoo won the draw, tried to clear, but hit a stanchion and came right to Brent Gates, and that led to some offensive zone time and a couple of good chances for the Fuel.
And the first was a one-timer attempt across the seam from Gates to Daniel, or excuse me, I keep calling him Daniel. It's Darian Craighead as his one-timer opportunity was stopped by Greaves, and then it was again Gates looking for Craighead again on the back door. I love the look of that top line for the Indy Fuel. You got size, you got speed, you got some rough housing from McKay. They've done some really good things throughout this game so far.
K-Wings take the puck in the Fuel zone. Jake Slaker into the right wing corner. Plays it up to the point for Velati on the backhand. And he sends it off the top of the glass, and then the puck trickled right into the crease where Cale Morris covers up for a whistle with 5:02 to go in the second period.
Andrew, I think I realize why I'm calling him Daniel Craighead is because isn't that the James Bond guy? Isn't
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to ask Darian to see if he's a James Bond or a Daniel Craig fan at all. But
he does wear number 7.
Yeah. Hey, perfect. And I'm telling you what, if he was on my team, I would just call him Bond. That's what I would call him. I would call him Bond.
Just got to put a couple of zeros in front of that 7 on his jersey.
We'll get some white tape and put him a couple of zeros before the 7.
Fuel control off the draw in their defensive zone. Chris Cameron sends it up the wall and out to center ice. Foot race between Gates and Velati along the far boards. Velati's able to get to the puck, spin past Gates, and try to clear it out to neutral ice, but it misses everybody and goes for an icing. And so an offensive zone draw coming for the Fuel. 6-4 Indy leads. After surrendering the first 2, the Fuel scored 6 consecutive goals, but Kalamazoo has the last 2. The K-Wings 3 for 4 with the man advantage tonight. And this is something. In the season series, Kalamazoo is now 10 for 17 on the power play against the Fuel. I think the message has got to be stay out of the penalty box against these guys. As the K-Wings win the defensive zone draw, play it up through center. It's wandered past Lemire, but back into the Fuel's defensive zone where Cameron headbands to Yetman, gains the line, feeds it ahead to Ike, takes the goal, and Greaves with an acrobatic save, put back on goal by Yetman, and Greaves able to recover, make the save, and cover up with 4:22 to go. It looked like Ike had Greaves crossed up a little bit, but he was able to recover and make the stop.
Another good rush chance as well for the Indy Fuel. Coming over the offensive blue line with plenty of speed. And C.J. Ike just drifting in behind. He got a deft little pass from Chad Yetman. A little bit of air underneath that pass, and Ike took it right to the rack. And then Yetman almost able to get the rebound, but was tied up. And a good defensive play by Kalamazoo. So another opportunity for the Fuel, trying to get that 7th goal of the game.
Fuel control off the draw and came up to the point for Keone Teixeira, but he couldn't handle it cleanly and ended up stick handling it across the line and then back in for an offside. And Riley McKay was again tied up off the draw. Looked like he went down and had some words for the officials on the way off the ice. As Keegan Iverson will replace him, and he and Humitz are exchanging some shoves, and I think as a result, Gates is going to be tossed out of the circle. Or is he? I think the linesman's trying to toss Gates, and Craighead will take the draw against Bradford. Bradford tried to go forward with it, and then it came to Chayka, who chips it off the glass and into the Kalamazoo zone behind the net. Davies goes back to get it. Look to reverse it to Miller, who will track it down in the near corner. Lobs it out to center. Sorensen shovels it forward into the fuel zone where Craighead comes back for it. The Fuel turn it over in a dangerous spot, but Kirill Chaika is able to rescue the puck. Gates chips it up the far wall, out to center, back to the Kalamazoo line. Craighead tries to tie up Miller, who bats it out to center. Rink wide pass to Teixeira across the line. Left circle, shoots, and it's blocked by the K-Wings. Bradford collects, and they drop it off to Bradford. Ahead to Miller. Gains center red, feeds it in front to Humitz. He shoots, and the save made by the Fuel goaltender Cale Morris, and he holds on for a whistle with 3:30 to go in the second period of the game. The Fuel leads 6-4.
Massive save. Probably the biggest save that Cale Morris has had to make tonight, Andrew, as the Fuel's defense was spread so wide where all Humitz had to do was position himself in the middle of the ice, got a good stretch pass from the red line. And Cale Morris well out on the top of his crease to snag it with the glove. A huge stop to keep the Fuel ahead by 2.
3.5 to go, second period. Kalamazoo wins the offensive zone draw, but Murray can't hold it in at the line as it was wide of him. And he'll bring it up the far side, backhanded into the Fuel zone. Morris will stop it and try to wrist it around, but it's broken up by Bryce of Kalamazoo behind the net. Mike Lee's trying to dig it free from Bryce, but Slaker takes the puck out to the point for Murray. It's blocked out to neutral ice, then Spencer Watson bats it down. DeBrincat can't get it past Watson. Odd man rush for the Fuel, drops it off for Thomas, right circle, sends it across. Mondot once, twice, misses just wide of the right post. Cameron shoots from the center point on goal, and it's gobbled up by Greaves, who holds on for a whistle with 2:53 to go. Lots of action in this second period of the game. The Fuel leads 6-4.
And a lot of whistles as well. Choppy play, a lot of face-offs, and the Indy Fuel again another chance carrying the puck in over Kalamazoo's blue line. Spencer Watson looking to send it back, but the pass just was a little bit out of the reach, and eventually the shot from big Chris Cameron soaked up by Jet Greaves, but the Fuel have had their fair share of opportunities, just as the K-Wings have had in this second period.
Fuel win the draw. Teixeira shoots from the center point. Blocker save made by Greaves. And behind the net's Carl Lemire, right corner. Brings it up the half wall. Curls back to the forehand. Now on the backhand. Bottom of the right circle. Shoots. Hits the side of the cage. Lemire still on the puck. Cycles it to Yetman. Tried to center for Ike, but the pass was behind him. And the K-Wings steer it out through neutral ice. And it's wanted free by Laguerriere out to center. Velati gets to it for Kalamazoo, chips it off the far boards, and it's played in behind the net. Morris will settle down and leave it for Laguerriere with 2:15 to go. Tried to headman it to McKay, who tried to bat it out of the air and swung and missed. Puck's in behind the Fuel net. McKay chips it out to center, and it looked like Bradford took a run at him and ended up not getting much of McKay. Miller gains the zone and tried to feed it down the slot, but it was behind everybody, picked off by McKay. Stretch pass ahead to Craighead across the Kalamazoo line. Stops at the outside of the circle, waits for reinforcements and loses the puck to Davies, who sends it back to the Fuel end. Lee ahead to the Kalamazoo line. Gates quick re-entry into the high slot, drops it off for Craighead, makes a man miss, left circle into the center for Chris Cameron. He shoots and scores. Chris Cameron restores the 3-goal lead for the Indy Fuel with his first professional goal, and the Fuel lead at 7-4. It's a touchdown and the extra point in back-to-back games for the Fuel.
Well, it doesn't get any prettier than this. Looking like a video game on the ice for the Indy Fuel. Drop pass by Gates, and then Darian Craighead. As the K-Wings were just completely spread apart. Nobody marking anybody. Guys pointing fingers. You have him. No one's got him. And then Chris Cameron mobilizing from the point on a great feed from Darian Craighead. And in 5 periods, Andrew, the Fuel have scored 14 goals in the last 2 games.
And we're back to action. The K-Wings play it in on Cale Morris. He leaves for Kirill Chaika. 1:20 to go. Craighead and Gates have the assists on Cameron's goal. Puck played in behind the Kalamazoo net. Jared Thomas, who has an assist today for an 11-game scoring streak Back diagonal to Cameron, who's back on the ice after scoring. Tried to send it into the slot from Mondot. Pass a little bit behind him. Spencer Watson, left circle. Up to the high slot. Watson right down Main Street, but the puck wouldn't go with him. And the K-Wings look for transition, but the pass behind Lambden, broken up by Cameron at center ice. He's able to send it to an open wing a bit dangerously as Slater was in the area.
Speech off.
And Murray will settle it down with 40 seconds to go in the period. Headmans for a pass that was broken up by Jared Thomas from Blaney. Blaney's able to get it back ahead to Lambden across the fuel line. Into the left circle. Rubbed off the play. Yetman takes the puck. Yetman across his own line with 25 seconds to go. 3-on-3 across the Kalamazoo line. Down Main Street. Velati poke checks him. And Taylor gains the puck and skips it into the fuel end. Mike Lee goes back to get it. Four checkers force it free. Velati tries to take it goalward. It squirts in on goal. And Cale Morris makes the stick save and covers up for a whistle with 10.3 seconds to go. 7-4 the Fuel lead. An eventful second period in which the Fuel have outscored Kalamazoo 4-2. Half of the intermission show is just going to be going over the scoring summary.
It's just been a total roller coaster for the Fuel in this game. Plenty of offense, a couple of bad penalties leading to goals for the Kalamazoo Wings. And now an all-important face-off to the right of Cale Morris.
Carl Lemire to take it against Justin Taylor. Now Taylor's tossed out of the circle for a false start. So Jake Gaudette will take it. And it's tied up in the circle. Sprayed over to the far boards where Kirill Chaika will get to it. And Gates bats it out to the Kalamazoo end. And that'll do it for a wild second period in which the Fuel scored 3 times in a span of 3 minutes and 16 seconds and then surrendered 2 5-on-3 power play goals, but then respond with Chris Cameron's first pro goal to extend their lead to 7-4. Shots on goal in the period, 15 for the Fuel for a total of 26. For the K-Wings, 14 for a total of 23. And we head to the third period with the Fuel leading Kalamazoo 7-4. We'll take a break. Nick and I will recap what has transpired in the first 40 minutes of this game and a little bit more right after this. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Hi, this is Jeff Wheeler, Business Manager of IBEW Local 41. I am proud to represent more than 3,000 union electrical workers in central Indiana. From Bankers Life Fieldhouse to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the annual Circle of Lights, we are proud to power your community. IBEW Local 41 is proud of our union membership and our community leadership.
During Happy Honda Days, discover the joys of the season with unforgettable trips in an Accord, Pilot, or HRV. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda Accord and 0% APR on the 2022 Pilot or HRV. Find your perfect Honda this season. Visit your local Honda dealer today or shop online.
This is my kind of holiday.
It's the Happy Honda Day sales event at your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
See dealer for financing details.
This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Second intermission at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. The Indy Fuel leading the Kalamazoo Wings 7-4, and it seems like whenever there's a really wild one here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, Kalamazoo's the opponent. And we've got another barn burner taking place on Teddy Bear Toss night as the Fuel scored 4 times in that second period. They scored 6 consecutive goals after surrendering the first 2 in the first period, as Zach Jordan scored at 3:03 and then Logan Lambden at 8:50 of the first for Kalamazoo. Answered by Keone Teixeira at 9:18, just 28 seconds after Lambden scored from Gates and Chaika, and then exactly a minute later, Gates scored unassisted, his 8th of the year, and then at 14:21 of the first, Carl Lemire scored his first in his return to the Fuel from Ike and Teixeira. It was 3-2 after a period. In the second, Kirill Chaika made it 4-2 with a shot from the point. Jan Mondot and Jared Thomas with the assists at 7:54 gave the Fuel a 2-goal lead, and then Chad Yetman extended it to 3 as Carl Elmire's looping shot was headed to the side of the net. Yetman batted it out of the air and into the goal. Chaika had the second assist And so a 3-point game for Kirill Chaika. That's his first in the ECHL. Matter of fact, he entered the night with just 2 points total on the season. And Yetman's 6th of the year for Lemire and Chaika made it 5-2 at 8:07. And then Riley McKay shorthanded from LeGarrier and Keel Morris at 11:10 made it 6-2. But McKay took a penalty in the celebration, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and that gave Kalamazoo a 5-on-3. They cashed in 41 seconds later. Tanner Sorensen from Bradford and Miller, Sorensen's 9th of the year, made it 6-3. And then another penalty after the whistle on the Fuel. Jordan Schneider, who had just come out of the penalty box, was sent right back into the box and was given a roughing minor. And on the ensuing 5-on-3, Zach Jordan scored a second of the game, 6th of the year, from Blaney and Slaker to make it 6-4 at 12:49. Now, and then the Fuel restored the 3-goal lead when Chris Cameron scored his first pro goal at 18:24 from Craighead and Gates to make it 7-4. And that's where we stand through 2 periods. And obviously a lot of work to do if you're the Fuel. You like where you stand right now with a 3-goal lead going into the third, but I think the message for Doug Christensen, number 1, stay out of the penalty box. Number 2, especially don't take undisciplined penalties and post-whistle penalties. Is Kalamazoo, they're 3 for 4 in the power play tonight, and I think, too, if you're the Fuel, just keep the play in front of you because you're going to have space in the offensive zone, and Indy has been able to take advantage when they've had that in this game.
Yeah, and stay out of the stuff after the whistle, too. Kalamazoo is a team where they have plenty of skill. I mean, look, they're 3 for 4 on the power play tonight, so you cannot allow them to draw you into taking penalties. And we saw some of the work that the K-Wings were able to do on the man advantage and a lot of those self-inflicted wounds as you had laid it out, Andrew. So, look, when you come out for this third period for the Indy Fuel, you can't just sit back on the laurels of it being a 3-goal lead. You got to find a way to try and make it 8 or 9 or 10-4 while still making sure that you're being strong in your defensive zone because, again, the K-Wings have been good enough on the power play tonight to convert 3 times. So you cannot allow them to try and get back into this game because, like I said, similar to when it was 6-4, you give them one more goal, they're right back in it. And this game is far from over with how much talent the K-Wings have and how much fight they have in their game. They're not just going to lay down and die. So the Fuel need to make sure they bring a strong-willed effort in the final period of regulation.
The thing I like looking at the score sheet, and obviously when you score 7 goals, you're going to get contributions from a lot of players, but it's been all 3 lines tonight. And you're looking at the score sheet right now, the only players who don't have a point, Jordan Schneider, Keegan Iverson, Spencer Watson, and Mike Lee. And 2 of those guys are guys you usually expect to score in Spencer Watson and Mike Lee. Spencer's got 5 goals in the last 3 games, and they've both been doing a lot of really good things, but you're just getting a lot of production from a lot of different players. And, oh, by the way, players with points in this game include Kale Morris, who has an assist on Riley McKay's goal, but when you've got 16 skaters and 12 of them are on the score sheet in the first 2 periods, that's a good thing. And look at the captain, Keone Texeris, +4 through 2 periods as well.
And 7 different goal scorers. I mean, you cannot say how important it is to have depth scoring from your top line to your checking line to the guys who are counted on to defend. Defensemen, you had said Keone Texeris getting involved. The +4, but also a goal and an assist. So it's great to see the Fuel getting contributions from up and down the lineup. That is so important. It takes pressure off of your top guys, guys like Brent Gates, guys like Spencer Watson, to where they don't feel the need and the big pressure to have to go out there and score 2 or 3 goals each and every night when you're getting that collective scoring and contributions from up and down the lineup. So that's great to see, and of a lot of the good things that the Fuel have done tonight, I think that's the thing that stands out the most to me is the fact that they've had 7 goals, all from 7 different scorers, and they've scored them a lot of different ways. Off the rush, on the power play, a shorthanded goal as well. they have been able to contribute in every facet of this game so far tonight.
And one thing Doug Christensen said in the pregame shows, Kalamazoo is probably the fastest team in the division. That's saying something when Toledo's in the division. But the Fuel have been able to skate with Kalamazoo, and that's something we didn't see in the earlier meetings between these teams, is Kalamazoo was able to create some space and allow their skill to go to work. And the Fuel have been able to do that to Kalamazoo in this game by scoring a lot off the rush and being able to create space for their forwards to be able to have some room to work in the offensive zone.
And what goes hand in hand with that is being able to win 50-50 battles in the offensive zone. And the guy we talked about in that second period, Darian Craighead, who is so good on the forecheck, so good at closing down spaces and forcing turnovers, and that's how you're going to be able to compete against a team who skates as well as the Kalamazoo Wings do. And that's where you need to make sure that you're shutting them down before they can get that speed going in the transition, coming out of their own zone. If you can establish a strong forecheck, that's going to take away a lot of their life, a lot of their pressure, and a lot of their offense. So the Fuel so far tonight have done a very nice job of that. If they keep that going in the third period, they're going to be able to see out this game with a 3-goal lead.
Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. They're in the final minute of the third period in Greenville. Toledo and Greenville are tied at 2. Brett Boeing and Cole Frazier have scored for Toledo. Corbin Baldwin and Max Zimmer for Greenville. Through 2, Cincinnati leads Fort Wayne 3-1. Matt McLeod, Nick Boca, and Yushiro Harano have scored for Cincinnati. Sean Boudria for Fort Wayne. Wheeling with a 9-2 lead over Norfolk. That game with 16 minutes to go in the third period. Looking at getting some balance, it looks like Wheeling has 9 different goal scorers in that game.
Wow.
Iowa leads Kansas City 1-0. 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Joe Widmar with the goal. In other games involving teams outside the Central Division, Trois Rivières beat Maine 5-2. Jacksonville over South Carolina 3-1. 8.5 to go in the third period. Florida leads Atlanta 4-1. And Nick Perkovich, a pair of goals for the Everblades in that game. And also Wichita and Utah are scoreless midway through the first. In the American Hockey League, 3 minutes to go in the second period. The Rockford IceHawks trail the Texas Stars 1-0. In the National Hockey League, the Blackhawks right now on the wrong end of a 3-2 score in Dallas midway through the second period. Alex DeBrincat, his 17th of the year on the power play, and Dylan Strome have scored for the Blackhawks. And Joe Pavelski has scored twice, both on the power play. And also Jason Robertson has scored for Dallas in that game. Elsewhere in the NHL, the Senators and Flyers tied at 2 with 9 minutes to go in the third. The Hurricanes all over the Kings. 5-1 that game in the final 3 minutes. Red Wings lead the Devils 3-1. With 5.5 to go in the second period, Dylan Larkin, a pair of goals for Detroit. Edmonton and Seattle will face off later on tonight. And our good friend Everett Fitzhugh doing such great work on the radio broadcast with the Seattle Kraken. And I always enjoy hearing the former voice of the Cincinnati Cyclones doing some great things in the NHL. Here, the Indy Fuel lead the Kalamazoo Wings 7-4. We'll take a break, and we'll bring you a great moment in Indy Fuel history right after this. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 34th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, official signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2022 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Flow Sports, the exclusive streaming provider of the ECHL; Geico, official auto insurance of the ECHL; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Handbid, the official mobile auction app; Honig's, the official partner of the ECHL officiating team; Howie's Hockey Tape, official hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, official puck provider; My Grey Group, your source for game-worn jerseys; Sideline Swap, official online marketplace of the ECHL; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider of the ECHL and title sponsor of the 2022 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
This is Andrew Smith with another great moment in Indy Fuel history. The annual Teddy Bear Toss is one of the most special nights on the annual Indy Fuel calendar. On December 14th, 2019, the crowd of 6,021 fans was barely settled into its seats at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum when it came time to send the Bears flying to the ice, courtesy of Joe Sullivan.
Doug Christensen was able to send out fresh players. See if the Fuel can capitalize here on the offensive zone faceoff.
Joe Sullivan to take the draw for Indy. And it's tied up along the far board. Schmalz gets it in front. Sullivan scores! Here come the Teddy Bears. Just 59 seconds into the game. Joe Sullivan alone in front, dangles to the backhand and stuffs it past Hildebrand. And the Fuel have a 1-0 lead.
Well, we talked about it. Want to get off to a good start. Not just because any time the Fuel have gotten off to a good start, they've gone on to have a successful game, but because you know these fans were ready and willing to let these Teddy Bears go, and ho-ho! Yes, sir, look at this.
But the fireworks had just begun for the Fuel as they continue to pour it on against the Kalamazoo Wings. One of the stars was Mikhail Hakkarainen, who had joined the Fuel from the Rockford Ice Hogs for the weekend and produced a three-point night. After assisting on Nathan Knowles' go-ahead goal, his first pro goal gave the Fuel a 3-1 lead early in the third.
Comes out to McIntyre on the rebound, left point. Over to Teixeira. Those two play pitch and catch. McIntyre in the center. Goes low, scores! Mikhail Hakkarainen with the power play goal. The Fuel lead at 3-1. A good look. Hakkarainen along the goal line from a sharp angle. Put it behind Hildebrand. Into the far post netting, and the Fuel with a 2-goal lead with a 5-on-3 power play goal.
Just 1 minute and 27 seconds later, Spencer Watson extended his team record scoring streak to 14 games.
Over to the far side, Watson working low to Hakkarainen, right wing corner. 3 seconds to go, out to Watson, fires, scores! Spencer Watson from the hash marks in the slot, rips it high glove on Hildebrand. A power play goal. The Fuel lead at 4-1, and Watson extends his scoring streak to 14 games, the longest in the ECHL this season.
Well, Spencer Watson, you could see on those power plays, his teammates were trying to get him the puck. And they wanted him to keep this scoring streak going, and look at this shot.
Watson would extend the streak to 15 in the next contest, en route to a team record 31-goal season. That goal gave the Fuel a 4-1 lead in what would eventually be a 5-2 victory over the Kalamazoo Wings on a memorable Teddy Bear Toss night. This is Andrew Smith. Thanks for enjoying this great moment in Indy Fuel history.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Furr, Physician Executive for Primary Care at Community Health Network. When you need care, nothing should get in the way. No barriers or hoops to jump through, just an easy way to get the support you need however it's best for you. Which is why we offer tried and true points of access, like your primary care physician or your local med check for urgent care and community clinics at Walgreens throughout Central Indiana. But we're also adding new ways to get exceptional care, like improved tools in MyChart to connect you with your provider, increased virtual appointments in primary care, urgent care, and even specialty care. We're also expanding virtual access for your behavioral health needs, both for counseling and psychiatry. At Community, you'll always get the best care possible, no matter how you choose to access it. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Visit us at ecommunity.com/getcare.
This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Time for the third period here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Along with Nick Olchek, I am Andrew Smith. The Indy Fuel lead at the Kalamazoo Wings 7-4. It's been a wild one, and it's been a night where, even though it's gotten a little chippy and physical, there haven't been a lot of penalty minutes in this game, but certainly the K-Wings have taken advantage when they've had power plays. They're 3 for 4 with the man advantage tonight. The Fuel are 0 for 1. 7 different goal scorers for the Fuel. They scored 6 in a row. bridging the first and second periods before Kalamazoo answered with a pair, and then Chris Cameron extended the lead to 3 again with 1:36 left in the middle frame, and that has this as a 3-goal lead. And Nick Olchek, I think if you're the Indy Fuel, we mentioned this earlier, obviously stay out of the penalty box, but take advantage of the opportunities that are there, because there will be opportunities. You got to think Kalamazoo is going to be on the front foot pretty much the entire third period.
Especially their defensemen, too. And look for a guy like Brendan Miller, who is arguably their best defenseman without question. And no doubt offensively, 18 points in 18 games coming into this game. They're going to be jumping into the play. They're going to be taking chances. They're going to try and think offense first. And if that's the case, that's a recipe for odd man rushes and 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s the other way for the Indy Fuel. So they got to make sure they're diligent with the puck in their own zone. And again, Andrew, they have to match the intensity that the Kalamazoo Wings come out with, because they're going to come with a push. They got too much skill. They're too good of a team. They're too well coached to just come out and hope for the game to go the way. They're going to try and take control. So the Fuel need to make sure that they match it. And if they do, capitalize on the chances that they're bound to get, because like you said, Kalamazoo, especially their defensemen, are probably going to be very offensive-minded.
Yeah, they're usually pretty offensive-minded, especially the two on the ice right now, Miller and DeBrincat, to begin the third period. The Fuel win the draw. Lee sends it up to the right wing boards. Getmans sends it into the Kalamazoo zone. Kalamazoo has had a goaltending change. Trevor Gorsuch has replaced Jet Greaves, who allowed 7 goals on 26 shots, and we had anticipated we would probably see Gorsuch tomorrow, given the 3-3 nature for both teams, and Greaves started last night against Fort Wayne as well, so he'll get in and get a period of work tonight. Jared Thomas will play it in behind the Kalamazoo net. Gorsuch sends it around, and it's settled down by the K-Wings defense. Pass ahead to Tanner Sorensen, misses its intended target and goes down for icing. Gorsuch had started all 3 games last weekend, as they had a 3-3 last weekend as well. Had the win on Sunday against the Fuel, as Greaves was up with the Cleveland Monsters, the American Hockey League. The K-Wings, the affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Face off in the left wing circle in the offensive zone for the Fuel. Comes out to Leguerrier at the left point. Wristed in behind the net to Jared Thomas. Lets it go to Spencer Watson, right wing boards. Curls off the boards, has it spiked off of his stick by Sorensen, and the puck hoisted to the Fuel line. In Leguerrier skates, he tries to get to it, but the next layer is Slaker to take the puck. Tried to play it up to the point, but he ended up splitting the 2D, and Davies will have to go back behind his own net to get it, as the Fuel will get a change. Up the near side, Murray will wrist it in. Stopped by Cale Morris. He'll send it along to Mike Lee. Headmans to the neutral zone, right to the tape of Brent Gates across the line. Gates into the slot, curls, drags, fires, and it's fought off by Greaves up high on the body. Gates with it right corner for the Fuel. Fought off by Davies, but Gates is able to stay on the puck, play it up to Cameron at the point. He protects, wrists it back into Craighead in the right wing corner. Looks to center for Gates, and it's played away from him. And Davies collects the puck after a good stick from Justin Murray. Now we've got some pushing and shoving behind the play, as Gates and Lambden were having some words as they headed to the bench on their respective changes.
And guess who was involved on the other side of the ice? Riley McKay. I mean, he has got to be well above. I don't see a hit tracker on the stat sheet, Andrew, but I would not be hard-pressed to think that by the time we get to 60 minutes completed, he might have 12 or 15 hits. And it's been going from the opening shift in the first period.
And they haven't been little hits either. They've been bone crunchers. And you can tell he's gotten under the skin of the K-Wings. They've been trying to take some runs at him here in the second half of the game.
And they've been clean, too. Like, there's been nothing dirty, no hit from behind, no hitting a defensive player, nothing to the head. They've been clean hits, and that's why I love the fit of him in that top line with Brent Gates and Darian Craighead. Be able to create a little bit more space for those guys in the offensive zone.
Fuel in the draw. CJ Ike goes behind the net, pops out the right side and scores! C.J. Ike gives the Fuel an 8-4 lead, restores the 4-goal lead. As he took the puck on the left side, was forced wide, popped out the right side. Nobody ever picked him up. And he turned and fired and beat the goaltender Gorsuch. And the Fuel have tied a franchise record with 8 goals in a game, and there's still 17:40 to go in the third period.
Well, C.J. Ike looking like a seasoned goal scorer here. As he was able to circle around the net, nobody came to him. Tyler Rockwell was just anticipating one of his other teammates to try and close down Ike. Not the case. He had all the time in the world to be able to cycle across. And a wonderful goal for C.J. Ike. Came in with 2 goals, 2 assists. And a big-time goal for a heart and soul player, Andrew. You'll love to see guys like that get a couple of cookies every now and again, and a beautiful goal from C.J. Ike.
For Ike, that is his third of the year, his first in 9 games. His last game on November 26th against Toledo.
Talk about people who deserve goals, put in a consistently great effort night in and night out. A guy who never complains no matter where he's playing at in the lineup. Going to block shots, going to hit. Going to play 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Great to see that for Ike.
Here's a turnover right in front of the net, right to Spencer Watson. He fires, but Gorsuch able to make the save. And it's not a place you want to turn the puck over, and definitely not the guy you want to turn it over to, but Gorsuch was able to hold it out of the net. Fuel also 8 different goal scorers in this game. As Mondot sends it in and goes for a change. 16:24 to go. Third period, Indy leads 8-4. Rink-wide pass through the neutral zone to Jake Slaker. Poked off of his stick, but the next layer is Humitz. He tries to take it down the slot, but is poked again. Keone Teixeira outlets to Craighead. Now Rayleigh McKay across the line. Drops it off for Teixeira. Top of the circle. Tried to send it through the seam across to Ike, to Gates, but it's broken up by Kalamazoo's Jake Slaker. Gates and Ike wearing the A's tonight for the Fuel as alternate captains. And Keone Teixeira wearing the C. As Gates brings it back across the line. Feeds Ike. Right circle. Takes it to goal. He shoots. Save. Rebound loose in the crease. And the Fuel trying to find it. But Gorsuch was able to cover up. And now Giovanni Vellotti takes exception to the way the Fuel were trying to hunt that loose puck in the vicinity of their goaltender. And he's trying to get to Brent Gates. But the linesmen step in.
And again, it was C.J. Ike right in the middle of it, taking it wide, directing that puck to the net as you had a mad scramble of Indy Fuel players looking to hack and whack and pitchfork that puck in past Trevor Gorsuch, but he stayed strong, ended up on his backside, and was able to somehow, some way, keep the puck out of the back of the net as we'll have a penalty. I think a couple of penalties, matching penalties, I think, for roughing as Brent Gates for the Fuel. He's going to head to the box.
And our referee, Sam Heidemann, escorts Gates. As Vellotti is also in the box, matching roughing minors. So we'll skate 4 aside for 2 minutes. That last goal for Ike at 2:20 of the period, unassisted. He's got a goal and an assist tonight. 13 different players, including goaltender Cale Morris, have points for the Fuel in this game. 8 goals, as we mentioned, ties a franchise record. It's been done a handful of times, most recently on April 25th when the Fuel beat Orlando 8-2 here at the end of the last season. Fuel win the draw. Up to Mike Lee. Takes it down the slot. Now curls back at the right point. Along the right half wall. Lee still on the puck. And brings it up top. And curls back. Finally lets somebody else have the puck and feathers it to Lemire. At the top of the right circle. Drops it off for Schneider. Walks the line. Takes it right circle. Takes it to goal. Tries to send it in front for Lee. Broken up, but Lemire hops on it in the right wing corner. Sends it along for Yetman. Behind the net, Yetman feeds Schneider left circle. The Fuel changing out man by man. as Getman has it. Sends it across to Craighead, who was coming off the bench, but the pass was behind him. Craighead collects the puck, takes it out to the right point. Skates into the circle. Looks to feed it in front, and it was broken up by Gorsuch, but Getman stays on the puck. Feeds it across to Lee. The Fuel have had the puck for a minute in the Kalamazoo zone on this 4-on-4. It looks like a power play. And finally, Kalamazoo's able to force it free, and Brendan Miller takes it, and they will go for a fire wagon change. The Fuel will do the same.
That wasn't the worst scenario either. Just kind of playing four corners, killing the clock.
J-Wings enter the zone. Arister goes wide. Justin Murray tracks the loose puck down in his own line. Leaves it for Davies. And now Gaudette tries to feed Davies and does across the line. Left circle. Looks to center for Sorensen. And it's broken up in. The puck sent right in front for a shot from Humitz, and a tremendous save made by Cale Morris. And it looks like he got a rebound as well. Here comes Humitz again. One-on-one across the line with Laguerriere. Now 2-on-2. Sends it goalward. It was going wide, but it's sticked away by Morris as it came toward his crease. Spencer Watson brings it 1-on-3 across the line. It's played off of his stick. We're back to 5 aside. Here's a shot fought off by Morris on the shot that came up high off the stick of Eric Bradford. Jared Thomas collects the puck, builds up some speed through the neutral zone, across the dot at center, across the Kalamazoo line, offside. He was forced to make just a little stick handling move at the line, and that forced his teammates in ahead of the play. 13:22 to go. In the third period, the Fuel lead Kalamazoo 8-4. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Remember Krista from Kemper Technology Consulting last year?
What's icing?
Well, she's learned a lot since then.
Get him! Hit him again! Shoot!
And she's become a huge Fuel fan.
Go, Fuel! Woo!
Let the team at Kemper put that same enthusiasm to work for you. Specializing in accounting software support with QuickBooks Professional Certification, Kemper gives you real people solving real problems. They can also help your network infrastructure, too. Call 866-966-5633 or visit KemperTC.com.
Come on, Rev! Idiot!
When you get care at Community Health Network, you're part of our community. And in our community, nothing should get between you and your health, not even the cost of care. When the time comes, our advocacy team will help you figure it out, whether you're uninsured or underinsured, so you can focus on what really matters, your health. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Get support at ecommunity.com/simplydelivered.
Stand by me.
This is Indy Fuel Hockey with Nick Olchek and Andrew Smith.
13:22 to go in the third period. The Fuel lead Kalamazoo 8-4. CJ Ike with the lone goal in this period to extend the lead. The Fuel at one time led 6-2. Kalamazoo had a pair of 5-on-3 power play goals to cut it to a 2-goal game, but Chris Cameron just ahead of the end of the second period, and CJ Ike at 2:20 of the third extended the lead. Here's Brent Gates across the line. Left circle, shoots and misses just high. Schneider holds it in along the far boards. It's kicked out to center. Cameron sends it back to the line. Schneider and Taylor get tangled up as Taylor had a hold of Schneider's stick as Schneider was trying to play the puck. And Kalamazoo's Giovanni Vellotti comes back and takes it and will set up the breakout behind his own net. We'll wind it up to Brinkett. Ahead to Slaker. Sidesteps a check. Brings it into the zone, but Chaika sends it right back out. Spencer Watson has stood up at the line as he tried to bring it into the zone for the Fuel, and the crowd took exception to the way that the check was finished on Watson. Here's a feed in front for Blaney on a nice play by Jake Slaker. He fed Blaney below the hash marks in the low slot, but Cale Morris able to make another really good save, and he holds on for a whistle.
Added to the list of great saves tonight for Cale Morris. He came out aggressive, signs of a confident goaltender, attacking the shot, not letting the shot come to him. Top of the crease, great play down low from the left-hand corner, right to the slot, and you had said it, Andrew. Blaney with a wide-open one-timer chance. Another wonderful stop, aggressive save from the Indy Fuel goaltender.
Fuel control off the draw, 12:15 to go. Indy leads by 4. Keegan Iverson tied up by Brendan Miller along the far boards, but Iverson's able to emerge with the puck. Outlets to Monda. Jan Mondat for the Fuel gains center red, but he loses the puck as he was poke checked. Here comes Lambden the other way. He shoots. It's blocked over the net by Schneider. Lambden brought it in one-on-one, but Jordan Schneider with good positioning. Here's Thomas the other way. Cross-corner dump into the right wing corner. And it's play offside. Our referee's the one who has the hand up. Let's see. Did he have a penalty?
I think he's pointing for
Jan
Mondat. I think that's who he's pointing at to try and.
That's a high sticking penalty on Kalamazoo, it appears.
Yeah, it's Logan Lambden. So now an opportunity here for the Fuel, Andrew, to go for history. Looking for that 9th goal. As the Fuel have never scored 9 in a single game in their history before. See if they can find a way to get it done here on this PP.
Second power play of the night for the Fuel. They're 0 for 1. Chad Getman, Brent Gates, Riley McKay. Out there with Lee and Craighead. Fuel win the draw. Lee walking the line to the left point. Reverses it to Gates. And he chips it along the left wing wall for Getman. Back up to Lee at the point. Across for a one-timer from Gates. It's on goal. Save made by Gorsuch. And the K-Wings able to get to the loose puck and clear. They were looking for the home run pass to Gaudette, but Lee had him occupied, and the puck came all the way to the end boards. Gates across the logo at center, across the Kalamazoo line, into the right wing circle, tried to take it to the forehand, was canceled out by Miller. Puck loose in the slot and pushed over to the boards by Craighead. He looks to center, but it's broken up by Kalamazoo. Comes back to Yetman, sends it across the seam to Gates, up to the center point. Ike makes Taylor miss, tried to feather it over to Yetman, but it's blocked out to center by the K-Wings. Yetman sends it back ahead to Gates. Quick re-entry. Lemire 2-on-1 with Craighead. Sends it across. Craighead, one-timer score! Carl Lemire, Darian Craighead, the two new guys, make history for the Indy Fuel. As Kalamazoo was very aggressive on the penalty kill, looking for a transition chance. The Fuel forced a turnover at the line. It was a quick 2-on-1, and Lemire, a perfect pass to set up Craighead, who does not miss on the one-timer. The first time in franchise history the Fuel have scored 9 goals in a game. It's 9-4.
Well, partner, we're witnessing a little bit of history as the Indy Fuel have just continued to pour the offensive onslaught on the Kalamazoo Wings, and rightfully so, as they have not pulled any punches in this third period. A couple of big goals. And a wonderful patient pass, a peach of a pass from Carl Lemire, opening that passing lane past Andrew DeBrincat. And Darian Craighead with just a pile driver to the back of the net. No chance for Trevor Gorsuch. And the Indy Fuel lead by 5.
4th goal in 2 nights for Craighead. He's also got an assist in this game. Carl Lemire with a 3-point game as well, with a goal and 2 assists. Back to action. Puck's in off the side of the cage. Mondat then steps into one from the high slot, but it stays out. Here's a feed across to Jared Thomas on a backdoor feed, but he ended up missing just wide of the near post. CJ Ike activates to keep it alive, but the K-Wings able to play it out to center. Tanner Sorensen curls back as his teammates are getting a change back into his own zone. Final half of the third period, the Fuel lead 9-4. And Indy at one time trailed in this game 2-0. And deficit lasted for all of 18 seconds before Indy was able to answer, and the Fuel scored 6 straight. Here's CJ Ike looking for number 10, but it was fought off by Gorsuch. Shot from the point on goal from Chaika. Stick save Gorsuch. Puck played up to the point. Gates across to Teixeira. Skates into the left circle. Zips it across to Gates. He sends it goalward. Gorsuch with a stick save. Ike on the puck in the right corner. Has it taken away from him, and Velati will skate it up for Kalamazoo. Out to Sorensen. He'll flop it in. Cross corner dump to Chaika's corner, who gets to it. Sends it across to Teixeira and out to center. Chad Yetman pushes it ahead for Lemire. Back to Yetman across the line. Bottom of the circle. Forced behind the net. Pops out the right side. Takes it out now to the center point. Yetman leaves it for Schneider. He'll bring it to the right wing circle. Take it to the forehand, sending it right through the crease. On a centering feed, nobody was home. Puck into the right wing corner for Keegan Iverson. Battling two K-Wings, gets it up to the point for Schneider. Back along the wall, Iverson tied up by DeBrincat. And that allows Slaker to come back and get the puck for Kalamazoo and settle things down. 8.5 to go. In the third period, the Fuel leading 9-4. Same two teams tomorrow in Kalamazoo. Been a pretty happy bus ride up to Michigan for the Fuel, assuming that they can see out this 5-goal lead. DeBrincat sends it into the Fuel zone. Gaudette goes after it behind the net. Lee tries to tie him up. Gaudette gets to it. Sends it up to the point to Davies coming off the bench. His wrister is blocked into the right wing corner. Jordan behind the Fuel goal. Turns, fires, and Morris able to make the save on the sharp angle shot as Jordan was looking for the hat trick. Spencer Watson, rink-wide feed, is deflected up into the air and out of play with 7:43 to go in the game. The Fuel leading 9-4, and Carl Lemire, Brent Gates with the assists on Craighead's goal. Gates now with a goal and 3 assists. That's back-to-back 4-point nights for Brent Gates. He's got 1, 7, and 8 his line for the last 2 games, and Mark Grain's going to have to do some work to decide who to nominate for Player of the Week, as Craighead's got 4 goals and an assist. Gates has 8 points.
Yeah, and of course Brent Gates with 4 helpers last night. So those 2 guys, you got to keep them together as long as you possibly can, because the chemistry is at an all-time high, and you add a guy like Riley McKay to that line as well, someone who I thought has played a very strong game tonight. Also, they have been arguably the most effective line, and that's really saying something for the Indy Fuel so far in this game.
Gates sent it up top to Cameron, who fired a one-timer. It was blocked out of play. Cameron with his first pro goal tonight. And that's the other thing that's really impressive about this. 9 different goal scorers for the Fuel tonight.
You don't see that very often. I mean, look, you don't see 9 goals in a game very often, but especially when you're getting that kind of contributions from everybody involved. That's just a special night so far for the Fuel.
7:20 to go. Indy looking to see if maybe it can get it to double digits.
Why not? Why not make it 11 or 12 with the way that they've been playing?
We'll have to dig into the archives to the last time a team has scored 9 in this building. As the K-Wings play it up to the line, and it's gloved down by Chris Cameron and then brought back in offside.
And let's also keep in mind that should this result be seen through like we think it will, it'll be the first time that the Indy Fuel beat the K-Wings this year. Of course, the 3 prior meetings, Kalamazoo outscoring the Indy Fuel 17-7. Not the case tonight, as Doug Christensen's team said enough is enough. We're going to show you what we got, and just the offensive explosion from up and down the lineup, forwards, defensemen, everybody involved. And a couple of good saves as well tonight for Cale Morris, who has been called upon to make some big stops, Andrew. Like, he hasn't had to make a ton. He has faced 27 shots on goal. He's given up 4, but he has made some stellar saves throughout the course of the game at important moments that has kept the Fuel consistently in the lead.
Well, of the 4 he's given up, 2 or 5 on 3 goals. 1 was a pass across that, I'm not sure Martin Brodeur at the top of his game could have stopped. And then the other one was a rebound on a power play, that kind of a broken play. I'm not sure you can fault him for any of those goals, but when he's been called upon, he's been outstanding.
Yeah. That's what you want in a guy that has a lot of career success at the collegiate level and trying to make his mark in the professional ranks. He has had a strong night, and a little bit of run support never hurt either.
K-Wings will hammer it in. Leguerrier behind his own net. Sends it around looking for Iverson. It's kicked back into the corner. And Chris Cameron will take it below his own goal line. Lemire tried to chip it, and he got hit by DeBrincat, ended up chipping it out of play. And now here comes one of the K-Wings wanting a piece of Lemire. It's it's Blaney and Lemire able to free the right, try to land a couple. Blaney is able to free his right hand and got 2 or 3 punches in before the two tied each other up. And originally it was Lemire and DeBrincat, and then Blaney came flying in to engage Lemire, and those two will, in all likelihood, watch the next 5 minutes. DeBrincat took a run at Lemire, and Lemire took exception to it. Well, and then Blaney came in to defend his teammate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't have to fight when you hit somebody. I mean, that's where, in modern day hockey, Andrew, anytime you hit somebody, whether it's clean, now, dirty hit from behind, hit to the head, different story. But it was DeBrincat that initiated the contact. He went to hit Carl Lemire, and it was a reverse hit, and he just laid out DeBrincat. And then in comes Blaney like it was Lemire that hit DeBrincat from behind. So in that case, Lemire had to fight for no reason at all. And that's one of the things that these days I don't understand why if you hit somebody clean, or if they come to hit you and you hit them reverse and you lay them out, why should you have to be the one to drop your gloves and risk breaking your hand on fighting a guy?
I've always believed nobody should have to stand up for a clean hit. And that was a case there where, as you mentioned, it was DeBrincat that was taking a run at Lemire. And somehow out of that, Lemire had to end up standing up for himself.
And again, fighting is needed in hockey. Absolutely. For players to be able to police the game. And if someone's running around taking liberties on players, you need somebody to put him in his place. But again, in that situation, it's not even like Lemire was an open ice hit and laid him out. It was DeBrincat that initiated it, and it was a reverse hit, and he put him on his rear end, and then in comes Blaney and forces Lemire to drop the glove. So again, it's modern day hockey. I don't really understand it. But nonetheless, Carl Lemire held his own and then some. And most importantly, good to see that he's all right after the fight.
Fuel are going to get a power play out of this, as Blaney's going to get an instigating minor, which is very well deserved, as the Fuel send it across. Gates looking for Yetman. Zips it back across to Gates. Right circle, skates in, shoots. Save made by Gorsuch. Weak side rebound. Comes over to the Fuel. Yetman back across to Gates. Sends it across the seam. Craighead to Iverson, trying to set him up for a tip, and he missed just wide.
Almost a tic-tac-toe goal, similar to what Chris Cameron's goal was like, where the Fuel were able to make 1 pass, 2 pass, 3, and find the back of the net, as Greg had just not a strong enough bottom hand on the back door, as the puck just ruptured off of his stick and went behind the net. But some pretty passing from the Fuel on the man advantage.
Crowd chanting, "We want 10," as Jared Thomas brings it in. Couldn't stick handle past the last guy, DeBrincat. And it comes out to the point to Spencer Watson. Right circle. Loses possession, but the K-Wings can't get it out. Mondot intercepts their clearing attempt. Plays it along the right wing half wall to Watson to center point. Teixeira back to Mondot. Right circle. Zips it across to Thomas, but the pass was behind him in his skates and cleared by Kalamazoo. 40 seconds now. 35 to go in the power play as Teixeira will skate it up. Drops it on the delay play for Jared Thomas. Thomas ahead. Self-pass into the left wing corner. Sends it around to Mondot. Right point. Having some difficulty finding it in his skates. Finally does locate it and sends it around the carousel to Thomas. Chips it into the slot. Picked off by Slaker, and he'll clear it down the river. 10 seconds to go in the power play. 4:48 to go in the game. The Fuel lead at 9-2. That fight, by the way, for Carl Lemire gives him the Gordie Howe hat trick, as he's got a goal and 2 assists in this game as well. Lambden's out of the box. We're back to 5 aside. The Fuel are now 1 for 3 with the man advantage.
So, Andrew, I'll pose a little trivia. Who has, in the history of the National Hockey League, the most Gordie Howe hat tricks?
I know the answer is not Gordie Howe.
Correct.
Because he never, if I remember correctly, he only had one
Like
maybe in his career.
Yeah. It's current TNT analyst Rick Tocchet. I think he has something like 18 Gordie Howe hat tricks in his illustrious career. One of the toughest guys. You do not want to get on his bad side, but something I found out a couple of weeks ago. I think it's like 18 or 20 in his career, so pretty great career there for Rick Tocchet,
he was
known
a
for
tremendous hockey player,
scoring and dropping the gloves a little bit here and there.
A number of stops, but most notably the Pittsburgh Penguins, and a tremendous hockey player, and later in a lot of other roles post-retirement from the game. Now, as you mentioned, with TNT and doing some great work on their studio show, and which I know you were a part of as well, behind the scenes. Here's the puck forced free by Gaudette in the Fuel zone. He loses an edge, though, as he was trying to take it to goal. And it's sent around. Brendan Miller chips it into the left wing corner. Lee is able to chip it right back out. As Kalamazoo's Brendan Miller takes a hit. Chris Cameron was trying to deliver it and kind of delivered a glancing blow instead. As the Fuel collect in their own zone. Spencer Watson back diagonal to Lee. Both teams play tomorrow against each other, so things have kind of slowed down the pace a little bit here in the last few minutes as teams just trying to see this one out with the outcome no longer in doubt.
That's going to be an interesting game tomorrow to see how that one starts and finishes. If any of this nastiness that we've seen throughout the course of the whole game carries over.
It's always interesting how you expect to see some fireworks after a game like this. It's been really physical and a lot of scores maybe needing to be settled. And then the third game of a 3-3 on Sunday afternoon, it ends up being one of those games where there's 2 penalty minutes on either team.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out tomorrow as we're in the final 2.5 minutes. Justin Taylor pinned along the boards in the right wing corner in the Fuel zone. Schneider trying to dig it free. And comes out to Lambden. Back diagonal to the point. Nice play to force it free from Murray, but the Fuel can't get it out. Lambden into the right wing area looking for Jordan, and his shot is deflected and rolls in on goal and is covered by Cale Morris. The stick went flying, and it was Schneider's stick. He wanted a penalty. I don't think any's going to be called here. With 2:05 to go in the game. Got a timeout on the ice. We'll take 1-2. The Fuel lead at 9-4. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Midwest Sport and Spine is the official chiropractor of the Indy Fuel. Go where the Fuel go for sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Midwest Sport and Spine offers state-of-the-art technology, chiropractic physical therapy, athletic training, and massage therapy all under one roof. And yes, we take your insurance. Take advantage of our Fuel fan discount for a $59 introductory massage offer. Midwest Sport and Spine, sports medicine for a pain-free everyday life. Go to MidwestSportandSpineCenter.com to schedule your appointment now.
Hi, this is Jeff Wheeler, Business Manager of IBEW Local 41. I am proud to represent more than 3,000 union electrical workers in central Indiana. From Bankers Life Fieldhouse to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the annual Circle of Lights, we are proud to power your community. IBEW Local 41 is proud of our union membership and our community leadership.
Back to Indy Fuel Hockey with Nick Olchek and Andrew Smith.
2:05 to go in the hockey game. The Indy Fuel with a franchise record 9 goals and a 9-4 lead, and 9 different goal scorers as well. We'll have an extended post-game show just because of the scoring summary to recap this one. Brent Gates wins the defensive zone draw as we return to action. Keegan Iverson tried to headman it to Gates. Pass doesn't connect, and icing is waved off. And now there's a hit behind the play, and Davies is down.
I think it was the puck. It was trying to be cleared from one side of the net to the other, from left to right, in behind K-Wings goaltender Trevor Gorsuch, and it just went right off the right cheek or face part of Michael Davies. And good to see that he's all right, able to get back to the bench, no issue. But Andrew, I did want to say, keeping an eye on the Indy Fuel Twitter, I was curious as to how many bears and stuffed animals were tossed on the ice. 5,445 bears or stuffed animals tossed onto the ice for the WRTV toy drive. So an amazing turnout from these incredible Indy Fuel fans, and safe to say that some kids in the greater Indianapolis area are going to be very happy come Christmas time.
Without a doubt. And thank you to all the fans for donating those 5,400 plus bears. And Christmas is going to be a really good one for a lot of kids because of your generosity, and it's always a special night, and it's
and no surprise either from these great Indy Fuel fans. Always happy to help out whenever they can and do whatever possible for the community. So just a great turnout. It's been a heck of a crowd, and what a game for all these great fans to be able to see tonight. The Fuel setting the franchise record for goals in a single game, as you had said a little bit earlier.
And the puck comes into the zone, and offside is waved off. I think the officials are just trying to get this over with, because we've seen a couple of obvious offsides and icings waved off here in the last couple of minutes of a 5-goal game. As we tick down to the final minute 10. Puck in the K-wing zone, comes around and out to center, where Mike Lee will go after it. Cale Morris leaves it for him. Final minute of this one, as the Fuel will win their second straight game. And move to 3-2-1 in their last 6.
Yeah, penalty coming up here. Logan Lambden, he was back checking on Spencer Watson right in the middle of the ice, and interference is going to be called. I think it could have even been called a tripping as well, as he kind of got his hip involved and kind of took out Spencer from behind as he landed on his backside after he got rid of the puck. 42 seconds of power play time for the Indy Fuel. And just real quickly, Andrew, one thing that I've noticed, haven't seen Riley McKay in this third period for a long time. The bench looks a man short. So I don't know if it was because when he got hacked back in the second period by Max Humitz or what it was, but something to keep an eye on moving forward. And in tomorrow's game for the Indy Fuel, a guy who, before leaving the game, I thought played extremely well on that top line alongside Gates and Craighead.
Yeah, he, I think, had his best game of the season tonight, and I thought he got his best game of the season last night prior to that. And he set the tone tonight by delivering a couple of bone-crunching hits in the first couple of minutes, and he just never stopped. And Doug Christensen has Leguerrier out there, as well as Mondot, Iverson, Lemire, and Spencer Watson with his power play in the final half minute. And the puck's hit across. Spencer Watson wrists one right through the crease. Leguerrier holds it in at the point. We'll feed it to Leguerrier, back to Spencer Watson with 12. Right circle, works it low with 7. Iverson drops it off, back to Leguerrier at the point. And Jan Mondot will just let the clock expire, and the Indy Fuel set a franchise record tonight with 9 goals from 9 different goal scorers. More than 5,400 teddy bears donated to the WRTV toy drive, and the Fuel win their second straight game 9-4 over the Kalamazoo Wings this evening. An impressive performance. Again, the Fuel recovered from a slow start, but then took control of the game very quickly and ended up dominating en route to a 9-4 victory in front of a huge crowd of 4,695. Many of whom are still here at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum and are loudly sending the team off the ice.
Well, if you told me, Andrew, coming into last night's game, that the Fuel had lost 3 in a row and they had not scored more than 2 goals in each of those games, I don't know if I would have believed you. 16 goals in the last 6 periods for the Fuel. Offensive explosion is an understatement. You had said 9 different goal scorers. That's what I love the most. Everybody contributing, forwards, defensemen. Some good stops from Cale Morris tonight as well, and just another fabulous win for the Indy Fuel as they went through a couple of roller coaster moments. As the K-Wings were able to pull it close, 6-4, and then the Fuel just pulled away in the third period. And they were able to win by 5 goals at the end of 60 minutes.
I think really the key moment in the game was right after Kalamazoo had scored the 2 5-on-3 goals. And you had that moment where you can lose your composure, as the Fuel kind of did there for a little bit, let Kalamazoo back in the game, and they were able to come back, get the next goal, and that settled them down, and then they saw it out really nicely in the third period.
And getting contributions from a couple of new guys as well. Third star Carl Lemire with a fantastic night as he continues to build off of a couple of strong performances since joining the Indy Fuel.
A goal, 2 assists, and a fight. The Gordie Howe hat trick. Kirill Chaika with a goal and 2 assists tonight, the number 2 star, and he had a really nice game on the back end. And the number 1 star with his second straight 4-point night. A goal and 3 assists. Brent Gates now 2 goals and 13 assists in 8 games. That's more than a 2-point-a-game pace for Brent Gates, and he is ringside with Scott Allen.
Franchise record set tonight with 9 goals. Insane offensive action last night and tonight. What do you attribute that to?
I think everyone just coming together. We've had a ton of chances. This last month we were playing good hockey. So it's really nice to see, some bounces start to go our way. So I think we're coming together as a team, and it's showing on the ice, and it's been a lot of fun these last couple of games.
It sure looks like you guys are having fun, and man, you guys seem to like hitting people.
Oh yeah, we got some tough guys on our team. Won't back down from anyone. So I think that part of the game is still huge, and we got a lot of it on our team.
Always nice to win on Teddy Bear Toss night. Make some noise, fans, for your number 1 star of the game, Brent Gates.
That's Brent Gates with Scott Allen ringside as the Indy Fuel knock off the Kalamazoo Wings tonight 9-4, and we'll come back and put a bow on this one. The happy recap comes up right after this. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
This is Dr. Ram Yaleti, Chief Physician Executive at Community Health Network. I know that for a lot of you, COVID-19 has changed your day-to-day lives in some pretty dramatic ways. But as things are progressing, there's one thing we sincerely hope you'll continue to do just as before, and that's to seek medical care when you need it. So please, focus on getting the care you need, and we'll focus on keeping you safe while you do.
There's no safer place to be. Learn more at ecommunity.com.
Stand by.
Exceptional care, simply delivered.
If you're looking for an exciting night of hockey, visit the Indiana Farmers Coliseum to help cheer our Indy Fuel to victory. If you're looking to score a great deal on business insurance, look no further than Indiana Farmers Insurance. The Indy Fuel chose Indiana Farmers Insurance because they wanted a local business that understands local business. It's a partnership that's truly worthy of a hat trick. To find an independent Indiana Farmers Insurance agent near you, visit IndianaFarmers.com.
Don't miss a second of the action. This is Indy Fuel Hockey.
Final score tonight from the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. The Indy Fuel knock off the Kalamazoo Wings 9-4. They set a franchise record with 9 goals in a game. They come from 9 different goal scorers. A lot of big nights as 14 different players find their way onto the score sheet tonight. And not only did the team set a franchise record with 9 goals, Keone Teixeira ties a franchise record by going +5 tonight. That had only been done one other time by Michael Neal back on March 11, 2018 against Toledo. And the Fuel win it 9-4, and I guess when you score 16 goals in 2 nights, you could overlook a couple of slow starts. And the Fuel were down 2-0 But just like last night, they gave up a goal to Justin Vive in the opening minute, scored less than 20 seconds later. Tonight, fell down 2-0 on this kind of an unfortunate bounce, a broken play. Logan Lambden had the goal to put the K-Wings up 2, and then 28 seconds later, Keone Teixeira scores to bring out the Teddy Bears, and then a minute later, Brent Gates scores to tie the game, and from that point forward, the Fuel were off and running and never really let up other than just a short period of the second period where they kind of lost a little bit of composure and took a couple of bad post-whistle penalties that led to some 5-on-3 goals that cut the lead to 6-4. But after that, the Fuel, with the last three, Chris Cameron with a goal late in the second, then C.J. Ike and Darian Craighead with goals in the third to extend the lead and see out a 9-4 victory for the Fuel. And a lot of superlatives tonight, Nick, and it's hard to know where to begin just because there are so many, but just a good all-around effort. And I think if you're Doug Christensen, you made some changes this week in the last couple of weeks to make your team better, and certainly through 2 nights it has shown on the offensive side of the ice, at least with 16 goals in the last 6 periods.
You know, I said it right before we went to break, but you're getting this kind of offense, and I think Brent Gates hit the nail on the head in his post-game interview with the great Scott Allen. Is just when you're getting chances, and the Fuel have had their chances in the last bunch of games, you got to think and have the confidence and have the belief that at some point the puck is going to start bouncing your way. And tonight, last night, it did. Touchdown last night and the point after. Tonight you get the touchdown, the point after, and then the safety as well for the Indy Fuel. So just a phenomenal night. Anytime you get a game where you got 9 goals, that's special. But 9 different goal scorers, that is pretty unbelievable. That's got to be some sort of history within it of itself. But a big-time night for the Indy Fuel. A lot of confidence to build off of, and they should have a boatload of it heading into tomorrow's game in Kalamazoo. I'm
looking through my list of 4-point nights in Fuel history, and there have been a couple of games where two players have had a 4-point night in the same game, but never has a player tallied 4 points in back-to-back games, much less on back-to-back nights, and that's what Brent Gates has done, as he had 4 apples last night and 3 more tonight, plus a goal, and an impressive performance by him.
And as is, Andrew, if you don't mind me interjecting, just
right ahead.
The one special thing for me about Brent Gates is how confident he is with the puck. Now, when the puck's on his stick, when I watch him, it doesn't look like he's even working hard. Like, that's just how confident he is. That's how smooth he is with the puck. And I mean that as the utmost compliment. And in confidence is that he's able to make plays. And his first goal was a special play, able to get right around the defenseman and then tuck that puck right up under the crossbar past Jet Greaves, who was anticipating, I think, Gates to take it to his forehand from right to left. Just a beautiful shot and a strong game for him. And anytime you put up point numbers like that, it's a special stretch and streak for him. So hopefully he can keep that going. But just a great night from a player that the Indy Fuel count on to provide offense. He has done it all year this year and has really shown what his capabilities are in the last couple of games.
And you've got Kirill Chaika with a goal and 2 assists. He had just 1-1 coming into this game in the previous 17. And Darian Craighead with a goal and an assist. So he's got 4 goals and an assist in the last 2 nights. Carl Lemire with a 3-point game. C.J. Ike with a goal and an assist. And also Keone Teixeira. A goal, assist, 4 shots, plus 5 tonight for the captain, Keone Teixeira. Just one of those nights where everything came together for the Fuel, and they win it 9-4. Let's quickly go over the scoring summary as much as you can. Do it quickly when there's 13 scored in a game. At 3:03 of the first, Zach Jordan, his 5th of the year from Murray, and Humitz made it 1-0 in favor of Kalamazoo. Logan Lambden then on the power play at 8:50. His 7th from Slaker, and Davies made it 2-0. And the Fuel answered 28 seconds later. Keone Teixeira, 2nd from Gates and Chaika, made it 2-1. Then Brent Gates unassisted at 10:18. Exactly a minute later, tied it up at 2. Carl Lemire made it 3-2 in favor of the Fuel from C.J. Ike and Keone Texera at 14:21 of the first. That's where we stood after one. Indy added the first 3 of the second period. Kirill Chaika from Jan Mondat and Jared Thomas. Thomas extending his scoring streak to 11 games. That is 4 shy of the club record that is held by Spencer Watson 2 seasons ago. And so that came at 7:54. Then 13 seconds later, Chad Yetman showed us baseball skills, batting the puck out of the air. And that came from Lemire and Chaika at 8:07 to make it a 5-2 game. Then Riley McKay shorthanded. His 4th from Laguerriere and Cale Morris, the goaltender, at 11:10, made it 6-2. But on that play, McKay took a penalty to put the Fuel down 2 men, and Tanner Sorensen took advantage. 5-on-3 power play goal, his 9th of the year at 11:51 from Bradford and Miller. And then another penalty on Jordan Schneider again gave Kalamazoo a 2-man advantage, and Zach Jordan took advantage. His 2nd goal of the game, 6th of the year at 12:49 from Blaney and Slaker, made it 6-4. But the Fuel answered. Chris Cameron's first pro goal at 18:24 from Craig Hedden Gates made it 7-4. And then C.J. Ike in the 3rd period at 2:20, his 3rd of the year unassisted, made it 8-4. And then Craig had his 10th of the year, 4th with the Fuel in 2 games from Lemire and Gates on the power play, made it 9-4 at 9:10. The Fuel were 1 for 4 with a man advantage. They also got a shorthanded goal. Kalamazoo was 3 for 4 on the power play. Shots on goal, 38-27 in favor of the Fuel. Indy moves to 8-11-3 with the win, 6-4 here at home. Kalamazoo falls to 11-10-0 with the loss. And now we turn our eyes toward these same 2 teams meeting tomorrow in Kalamazoo. And obviously a short night and a long bus ride ahead. And then you've got to get ready for the back half of a 3-3, and then it's a week off for the Christmas holiday, and the players get a chance to go home and see their families, and I know that's something a lot of them are really looking forward to. But you want to go into that break on a high note, right, finish off the weekend well after the Fuel have really been dominant in the first 2 games.
Well, they should have all the confidence in the world of what they've been able to do in the last 2 games, and it's going to be another strong test tomorrow because, look, Kalamazoo Wings, they're going to come out flying tomorrow, and I can guarantee you that. They're going to be back in their home building. Yes, it's the 3rd game in 3 days, but it's a prideful team. And, look, both these teams are neck and neck in the standings as well. And coming into this game, Kalamazoo Wings were 7 points ahead of the Indy Fuel. Now it's a little bit tighter, so I would expect a strong matchup tomorrow between both these teams in Kalamazoo. But again, the confidence should be at an all-time high for the Indy Fuel compared to what they've done in the last couple of games.
Yeah, we look at Cincinnati beat Fort Wayne 4-3. Wheeling beat Norfolk 9-2. And Toledo in overtime knocked off Greenville 3-2. As far as games involving division teams, Iowa's ahead of Kansas City 3-1 with 5 minutes to go. And so it looks like Iowa will get into the win column as well. So a good win for the Fuel to certainly keep pace as a lot of the other teams in the division also victorious tonight and gain some ground as well on Kalamazoo and Fort Wayne. Obviously Kalamazoo losing because that's the team you beat, and Fort Wayne dropping a game at home to Cincinnati tonight as well. So, partner, it has been a pleasure to have you back in the booth with us today, and you enjoy the week and the time with your family, and have a great Christmas holiday, and we will see you soon.
Absolutely, Andrew. Always a pleasure. Happy holidays to you. Hopefully you have a very Merry Christmas, and to all of the fantastic Indy Fuel fans out there, hopefully it's a happy, healthy, and joyous holiday season.
And we wish that from us to you. This is the final home game before the break. Tomorrow, the Fuel will be in Kalamazoo, 3 o'clock face-off. We will be bringing you that game. I'll be on air right about 2:55 with the pregame show on both our audio stream and on Flow Hockey's. We have a rare locally produced road broadcast tomorrow as the Fuel take on the Kalamazoo Wings. And so, until then, tonight, the Indy Fuel knock off the Kalamazoo Wings 9-4 in front of 4,695 fans and 5,445 teddy bears that were tossed onto the ice. For Nick Olchek, I am Andrew Smith. saying good night, so long, everybody. This has been a presentation of Indy Fuel Hockey and the ECHL.